It's an enormous privilege to join my voice to the many voices of tribute that will be heard and paid this evening to Rabbi Berel Wein, one of the master educators of our time. Rabbi Wein has had a most incredible career, and a very lengthy one, and that has covered aspects of the rabbinate and education in many fields. But it came to a kind of crowning summit these past 25 years through the creation of his Destiny Foundation, in which he has undertaken to be the voice of Jewish history for the current generations of young Jews who want to feel what it is to be part of that history. He has done this through over 1,000 lectures of his, all of which have been recorded, through his 15 books, through his history courses, his educational tours, and most recently his documentary films on Rashi, on Rambam, and several others. And these have all been absolutely masterly, though I think pride of place goes to his 4 great history books: Triumph of Survival, Herald of Destiny, Echoes of Glory, and Faith and Fate. He really has a gift of making history live. He is a master raconteur. He is a supreme artist of historical narrative. Why does this matter? It really matters because, as Moshe Rabbeinu said towards the end of his life, Zechor Yemot Olam, remember the days of old, Binu Shnot Dor Vador, and remember and strive to understand the message of successive generations. Many civilizations, maybe almost all of them, have seen God or the gods in nature. Judaism was the first and by far the greatest to see God in history. Others didn't really see history as an arena of change and redemption. Plato saw history as a moving image of eternity. Nietzsche saw history as eternal recurrences, the same thing over and over and over again. Whereas Judaism was born in an extraordinary historical event in which the supreme power in the universe intervened in history to liberate the supremely powerless, and thus tell us that history can be an arena of redemption and thus of hope. And that hope, wherever you find it, has some kind of Hebraic echo, because we were the people who found God in history. We did a little more than that, oddly enough, because one of the strangest things of all about Judaism is that though Jews were the first writers of history the world has ever known, long before Herodotus and Thucydides, nonetheless, there is no real Hebrew word that means history. So that modern Hebrew had to borrow the word historia. What is the word that resonates with us? It's not history. It's zachor. It's memory. There's a big difference between history and memory. History is his story, the story of somebody else at some time and someplace else. It's somebody else's story. Memory is my story. History is an answer to the question, what happened? Memory is an answer to the question, who am I? And that is what Rabbi Wein has done. He has turned history into memory for all those who've been privileged to read his books, listen to his lectures, or watch his films. And so he's turned what might have been a dry academic subject into something that speaks to each of us, telling us who we are and what it is to be a Jew. Rabbi Wein, you have done superbly well. I just envy you for your incredible, incredible achievements. You have been our master teacher, our narrator, and you have given us, all of us, a sense of our history that gives us pride and also reminds us of our responsibilities, carrying the past into the future. So, thank you and bless you. And may the Almighty bless you with good health and much strength to continue your wonderful work for many years to come. Thank you.
I am so honored and delighted to have this opportunity to pay tribute to Rabbi Berel Wein, who is a global icon, a global Talmid Chacham, a leader for the Jewish people, for Am Yisrael. And also, I regard it to be a personal privilege to be able to turn to Rabbi Wein for advice on so many occasions over the last number of years, looking for his wise counsel. And I regard him to be a dear friend, and that is truly a privilege for me. And I'm thankful to Hashem for that incredible privilege. And so when I was thinking what to say about Rabbi Wein, the words of the Midrash came to me so powerfully. There's a magnificent Midrash which says that when God created Adam HaRishon, when God created the first human being, Adam could see from one side of the world to the other. In other words, what our sages are conveying to us is that the greatness of a human being, the Gadlus HaAdam, is when a person has broad vision and can see from one side of the world to the other. And that is what Rabbi Wein has given the Jewish world, this incredible perspective of the sweep of history. And for us, of course, history begins with creation and ends with Yemos HaMashiach, the time of the incredible final redemption for all of humanity. And it is that sweep of history, to see from one side of the world to the other, to see the full sweep of history and the meaning of history, which is the incredible gift that Rabbi Wein has given the Jewish world. But it's not just about his role as a historian, and he's indeed one of the leading historians of our times. It is the fact that he's a historian who is also a Talmid Chacham, incredible Torah scholar, who looks at history from the perspective of the Torah. In other words, from the perspective of Hashem. The incredible power of learning Torah is that we learn to see the world through the eyes of God. And that is what Rabbi Wein does. He looks at history and enables us to see history through the eyes of Hashem, to see history through the eyes of the Torah, through the eyes of our sages. And that is an inspiring perspective, something which is truly life-changing. And so his contribution is the unique perspective that he brings as a leading world historian, but also as a leading world Talmid Chacham, bringing those two worlds together, the world of history and the world of Torah. And that changes the way that we look at ourselves, and that helps us to understand the meaning in our lives, and the meaning and the mission and the purpose of Klal Yisrael, of the Jewish people, and indeed the meaning and the purpose of all of humanity. That is an incredible gift that he has given the Jewish world. And that is apart from the incredible Torah which he has built over so many decades, institutions which he has led, institutions which he has established, shuls and schools and yeshivas, and the spreading of Torah, teaching Torah to so many people on so many different occasions, reaching literally millions of people around the globe through his shiurim and through his insights and through the words of Torah that he shares with so many people. And so from that incredible perch of seeing the world through the eyes of Hashem, the global perspective and the incredible wisdom that it comes with, we are so blessed as Am Yisrael, as the Jewish people, to have a leader of this stature and of this caliber. And I feel personally blessed to have a personal connection to Rabbi Wein, to be able to turn to him at times for advice, for guidance, for counsel, for support, and also to have collaborated with Rabbi Wein on the writing of the book, The Legacy, and to have him as a friend and as someone I can turn to for counsel and for direction is truly a blessing in my life. And so for me, this is an occasion where I feel so blessed by Hashem for the opportunity to pay tribute, but we as a community, and indeed all of Am Yisrael, feel so blessed to have benefited over all of these years from the incredible leadership, wisdom, and insight of Rabbi Berel Wein. And so on this occasion, we turn to Hashem and ask Hashem to continue to bless Rabbi Berel Wein with the remarkable productivity which has defined his life. And we look forward to the wonderful new projects which are waiting to be born from the incredible creativity and insight and wisdom of Rabbi Wein. May Hashem bless Rabbi Wein with many more years of productivity, success, and the spreading of Hashem's wisdom in the world, and to be a Kiddush Hashem for all. God bless you, and thank you for this opportunity.
It is a big privilege and honor for me to share with you few aspects what I learned from Rabbi Berel Wein Shlita. דוד המלך קם teaches in תהילים, מי חכם וישמור אלה, ויתבוננו חסדי השם. Who is a smart person not know to save the special gift what הקדוש ברוך הוא give to him? Somebody what have in his life perspective of התבוננות. התבוננות is mean to combine details and big picture. Somebody would have life only with a big picture, he stay in the air. Somebody would have life only with details, he lack himself. To have the balance between details and big picture, this is the right perspective. And this we feel every time when we listen a lecture from Rabbi Berel Wein, when he give advice to people, he asks to get all the details, but the answer comes from the place what we combine this to the big picture. And in this way, people feel happy with the advice what they get. Some other aspect, unique and special, by Rabbi Berel Wein Shlita. We know Jewish life start with stones, end with stones. Yaakov Avinu in the last night in Eretz Israel take stone and say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if you bring me back, האבן הזאת אשר שמתי עם הצבע יהיה בית אלוקים. I change this stone to בית אלוקים. One of our name, עם ישראל, is אבן. חז"ל come and say to us, ומניין שישראל נקראים אבן, שנאמר ומשם רואה אבן ישראל. After 120 we put stone on the grave. The unique about stone, stone in Hebrew is אבן, אבן is ראשי תיבות, אב, בן, נכד. Father, son, grandson. Ima, bat, nechda, mother, daughter, granddaughter. Is mean what make us special, unique. We know to combine ourselves to generations before. Nothing start with us and nothing end with us. This kind of knowledge. Every time the students, people heard from Rabbi Berel Wein. Every time. He mentioned גדולי ישראל, רב חיים קרייזל זכר צדיק לברכה, Arabi Ponovich, Zecher Tzadik Levacha, and many, many others. And he shows us how naturally is relevant, merge with our generation. We cannot build future, and we cannot appreciate the present if it's not connected to the past. And the third aspect, what I see all the time by Rabbi Berel Wein Shlita, Ahavat Eretz Israel, par excellence. He showed to us in many aspects what is mean טובה הארץ מאוד מאוד. מאוד in Hebrew is potential, what we can make from this real. In our language is startup. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu create the world every day, the Torah say כי טוב, כי טוב. טוב is harmony. When he create us, when he create Adam, the Torah say וירא אלוקים את כל אשר עשה והנה טוב מאוד. Only we have the knowledge to recognize potential to make from this real. Rabbi Berel Wein showed to us all the history of Am Yisrael. When we look carefully, we can see Yad Hashem. We can see Ashgacha Pratit. We can feel this is only by us, Am Yisrael, and only in Eretz Israel. And when we have all this kind of knowledge together, this brings us to end and to say, Zman in English is time. Time in Hebrew is Zman. Why? Because every minute invited the next minute, every hour the next hour. Somebody would have a life of Zman, all the time he run after the next day, the next month, and one day he never catch what he want. This creates some difficult time. From this reason, only in Lashon HaKodesh we have similar word to Zman, Et. Et is meant to appreciate the present. HaKadosh Baruch Hu never asked anyone how many hours you study Torah. He asked, Kavata itim la Torah. Minute, hours. The question is, where is my head? I appreciate the present. I have the present and I catch the future. Rabbi Berel Wein teaches us what is mean enjoy the present. If you enjoy the present, we connect ourselves to the past and we can catch every goal in the future. I would like to take this opportunity and to wish Rabbi Berel Wein Shlita V'zarichus Yomim V'shonim to continue to Mekadesh Shem Shamayim. Am Yisrael need you to learn from you so much in many, many aspects. And we bezoche, all of us, bimera to the Geula Shlema from Bracha and Simcha and Milui Kol Mishalot Libeinu Letova.
I have very little connection with Skokie Yeshiva, but I have a lot of connection with Rabbi Berel Wein for many, many years. Rabbi Wein has made Jewish history so fascinating, so entertaining. Every time we listen to him, we love his style of humor, and the way he presented history was fantastic. Many people have the ability to analyze the past. They have 20/20 sight looking into the past, but they're not able to analyze the present. The whole chachma of history, world history and Jewish history, is to, based on an understanding of the past, to be able to analyze the present. We enjoyed for many, many years Rabbi Wein's analysis of the situation in Eretz Yisrael. We wish him Mazel Tov on this special occasion, and you should continue to be a Marbitz Torah Barabim for many, many years to come. Teaching Jewish history is also Hachnassas Sefer Torah. The Ramos says you shouldn't study secular studies on Shabbos, but to study Jewish history or even world history is considered a mitzvah. Mazel Tov.
It's a great pleasure for me to add to all of the words of tribute in honor of Rabbi Berel Wein this evening. When I think of Rabbi Wein, I think of somebody who is a dynamo and someone who makes things happen. Born and raised in Chicago, goes to the Chicago Yeshiva, becomes a lawyer, goes to Miami as a rabbi, and then he becomes the executive vice president and head of Kashrus at the OU, moves to Monsey. But he just doesn't move to Monsey. He's in Monsey, so he starts a shul. He doesn't just start a shul, he's in Monsey, he starts a yeshiva, and is the head of both of these institutions for decades. You make things happen. Rebbe is Mechayev Ashirim, Hillel is Mechayev Aniyim. Rabbi Wein teaches us the power of one person, the difference that one person can make. He comes to Israel, becomes rabbi of this incredible shul, starts the Destiny Foundation, dozens of books, thousands of tapes, makes a real difference in the world. But I want to add one final thought, and that is that very often people who are involved in the public sphere get very caught up in their own work and sometimes don't invest so much in their families. The Tosefta says at the end of Brachas, Mipnei ma zocha Yehuda lamalchus. And the last answer in the Tosefta is, Mipnei shekidei shemo shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shekisha'olu shvatim al hayam, ze omer ein ani yored, ze omer ein ani yored, or the other version, ze omer ani yored, ani yored. Nobody wants to go in. Everybody wants to go in, and Nachshon jumps in. And because Nachshon jumps in, Kidei Shmo Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Zocha Yehuda L'Malchus. But why is Yehuda Zocha L'Malchus? He didn't jump in. And I think it's relevant to Rabbi Berel Wein. The reason why Yehuda is Zocha L'Malchus is because he sets up a family that has values. And these values are transmitted generation after generation. So that at one point in the future, 5 generations later, when the Jewish people need a hero, when the Jewish people need somebody to jump in, it's the Einikel of Yehuda. Mipnei mazocha Yehuda lamalchus. Yehuda is Mekadesh Shmo Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because he's minded a family that understands and appreciates and transmits the values generation after generation. What an incredible, incredible family Rabbi Wein has. It's not just everything that he has accomplished for himself, but it's everything that he has accomplished also for his family. It's fascinating that Saba Chaviv is Bigamatria 85. I think the number 85 is relevant to Rabbi Wein. Saba Chaviv, a beloved Zaidi, is 85. And so we celebrate tonight a world Jewish leader and an incredible leader in an amazing family. Kadosh Baruch Hu, Rabbi Wein, should give you continued years and continued kaiches to do everything that you do on behalf of all of us who look to you for learning, for wisdom, and for inspiration, and on behalf of your incredible family. Mazel tov, mazel tov.